So I just couldn't ever get all the air out. It wasn't priming properly. Oh, this is not going well, but we'll get it, don't worry. Hey there, good morning. Welcome to the JeepSolid garage. So today we are going to bleed the master cylinder on the clutch that I replaced on my Project Jeep PJ. So we're just going to need about 2 feet of clear plastic tubing and some clean brand new brake fluid. And under the Jeep up here by the transmission, I've got my 2 hydraulic lines from the new throwout bearing. This guy back here for bleeding, and this is where we're going to hook up our hydraulic line that goes to our master cylinder. So we are just going to thread this hydraulic line on here. It's hard to do with one hand while you're filming, but we'll see what we can do here. Okay, we've got our hydraulic line on there tight. Now this side here, let me take this out. This is a little bleeder valve that we're going to use. So you can see how it's not an open tube, but at the end there it has a little pinhole just on one side. That's how we're going to bleed it. So first we're going to get a little box end wrench on here. That fits over it just nicely. Then we can put our little plastic tube over the end. And here we're using some brand new brake fluid, because you want to use new fluid or very clean fluid. We're going to add a little bit to our bottle here. That should be plenty. And then let's check the master cylinder here. And it's a bit low, so let's top it off as well. Now we'll take our tubing, drop it down into our bottle here with our brake fluid in it, just so it rests down underneath it. There we go. So that way, that prevents air from coming backwards into the tube. Okay, see how there's 3 pedals? This is the gas, this is the brake, this is the clutch. So I'm going to want you to push this clutch all the way down to the floor here. Go ahead and push it down. All the way, there you go. And hold it there. So go ahead and push it down. Hold it there until I tell you to let go, okay? So go ahead and let go. Alrighty, now I got my tube into my brake fluid, got my wrench on there. We are ready to go. Got my volunteer in the cab. I'm gonna open this up like that. Okay, go ahead and push that pedal down, Amanda. Okay, let it go. Go ahead and push it down. Okay, let it go. Push it down. Let it go. Now I'm going to double check the reservoir, make sure it's still full. We're just going to see if we need to top it off here. And we're going to do this, we just don't want this to run dry, because if it starts to suck air again, then we're starting over. So let's just top it off a little bit. Push it down. Let it go. Are you pushing it all the way to the floor?
Yes.
Okay. Push it down. Let it go. Push it down. And you can see here how we're getting out some of the old fluid. That fluid on the bottom is the old stuff, the new stuff's on the top. And we're going to keep doing that until we get all the air bubbles out. And we're frequently checking the reservoir here. We don't want to run it dry, because if we do, then we're starting over. So we'll top it off again. And one little tip, if you're having trouble getting all the air out of your line, like you just have some bubbles trapped back here where the plunger is, you might actually need to, you could either disconnect it off the firewall here, loosen these 2 bolts so you can kind of tip it up, or you can just tip the whole front of the Jeep up. Okay, the priming of that, honestly, it was a little painful. It took me quite a while. I ended up with just a little tiny pinhole air leak up here at the bleeder valve. It wasn't 100% sealed, so I just couldn't ever get all the air out. It wasn't priming properly. So I had to diagnose this by getting a little vacuum pump, a little cheap Harbor Freight vacuum pump, and just taking it apart piece by piece until I found out where it was leaking, and it was right at where the little nipple of that bleeder valve goes. So we got it figured out though. I think we're making good progress now. So I ended up using a little bit of Teflon tape on the threads on that bleeder valve. And you also notice I got the front end jacked way up because I want that master cylinder tipped up like this so that all the air goes up so I can prime it out of there. But honestly, not a bad way to spend a beautiful afternoon. So the little bleeder valve here, a little pressure gauge, this was super handy in identifying where my leak was, because I would just kind of take it backwards piece by piece until I figured out where the air was coming from, where my leak was. So now I just pump it up and put some suction on the system, and I can see the air coming out right up there, little bit by bit. So yeah, handy little tool. And then it's got this little reservoir here. It has a tube going down in it, so a tube from the output side there going down into the fluid, so it can't suck air back up into it. So it's a good little system overall. Okay, go ahead. Oh, crud.
Can I let go?
Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, do it again. 2, 3, 4, and hold it down. Okay, that's good.
Let go?
Yep. It's shifting good. How about that? Alright, that turned out great. We got it done. Sometimes bleeding your clutch can be a bit of a pain. Be super careful about getting the air out. That pump was very handy. I'll be sure to include a pump like that. Put a little bit of negative pressure on there. You can watch the gauge, see if it starts falling while you fiddle with it to see if you can find out if something's leaking. Super handy. That'll be linked in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. Check out my next video right up here, and have a good day. First try.